Good afternoon, traders. It's Mark here from the day trading room. It's 20 past 1 in the afternoon on Thursday, the 29th of December. Hope you're all enjoying a good holiday week. Very light trading for me, very light. Emphasis on that end of the year. As I said in my last video, don't want to do anything or don't want to go into the end of the year making any silly mistakes. So size very reduced. And so that if I do take a stop out on the day, it's not going to do any severe damage. So I want to talk about yesterday because yesterday we were down 140 on the cash. We took out a lot of levels. An interesting day. Now I watched the open and I'm in no rush to trade. It's absolutely a trade has got to jump out at me for me to trade in this week, as it was last week. But really, the open was so weak. We tagged the prior day's low, bounced a bit, rolled back over, and the tape just looked awful. It looked dreadful. All the time, it was just sell algos sitting on the low of the day, minus say 6 or 7 ticks on the YM. Even lower. At one point, there was just sell algos sitting pretty much the low of the day, minus 2 ticks, and just waiting. And then as a new low came in, they would lower their offer. But as I've said before, tape on its own is not a reason to take a trade. Tape is used to fine tune that entry. So even though I could see the tape was absolutely horrible, I'm not going to just dive in on it. You can't just dive in on it because you have to expect retracements. Expect those algos to lift, test liquidity, come back on, expect some buyers to step in. All sorts of things are going to happen. So I sat out for all of this, but I wanted to be short for all of this period. Really, that little drive down there, I didn't want to get short and at that moment because my expectation is for potentially a sort of rotational type day being no volume. But as we rolled over here, this point here is probably more accurate. From there was the point that I knew I wanted to get short at some point, but it's just finding the entry. Now, the obvious place for me and what I would normally do under normal circumstances in these sort of days is this here. The first pullback, you set the scene of weakness, you roll over, you take out the low, the little pause, little flag, and I'm on that always. But because it's the holiday week, because there's low volume, I just wanted to wait for a little bit more of an unwinding, because you've got to be very careful taking continuation trades when the volume is low, and you just don't quite have a feel for, it's a bit more erratic. The market's a little bit more erratic. So anyway, cut a long story short, I was shorting it as we popped up into here. It was this candle here. As we took out this little swing high here, I was short. Now I took a little bit of heat, not a lot, but a little bit. It was this high tick reading here. Actually, was it the second one? It was around this level of high ticks here. But why did I take it there? Because the chances of catching a move or at least a revisit to the low were high, because we'd come quite a way at that point. So for me, it was the rotational day could still be there, but because you've come so far, there is a chance you're going to get some sort of retest. Now it's different from the move, pause, and push lower. So that was my thinking behind the trade. So there was a take the short, and we rolled over, and my target on that short trade was the 12,200 was the final target. I'm just looking over at my cash chart here on the other screen. We tagged that at 1537. So I had to wait a while for my last scale on that, but it was it was a good trade. Obviously scaling out as we push lower. So there was the entry, and the exit was just I think it was about here. And obviously there was a lot more meat to be had in the move, but that was the premise of the trade. It was a nice target, the clear 12,200 on the Dow cash, a nice little entry on these high ticks. Afterwards they rolled over perfectly, and this just really told me, by the way, I took off the majority of the position, scaled out into these lows here. Nice, and this tick divergence concerned me slightly, but I was happy to hold a little bit just for that 12,200 target. Finally got it, and it's something you've got to really push for on the days where potentially you've only got one opportunity in the day. You need to be making use of that opportunity and trying to make it work for you. So that was a good trade, and it was a nice one to put into the bank. The other trade I want to talk about was day before this opening drive. Now this was again very small size, very quick scalp. I think I took like 12 ticks out of it, so we're talking nothing, but I liked the setup. The setup was we got the open, and just out of nowhere, bang, bit of volume came in, ticks went higher. You know, I'm just going to say it again. I'll repeat myself, but small size on this because it's just low volume, first day back after the holiday. But I like that sort of setup. I like the fact that there's some wind behind it. We've got some targets up there, and we pulled back, held, and it was worth a little scalp for another push up. So a little scalp play on that. Other than that, that's it. Nothing more. Nothing more to report. I'm going to be watching today. See if there's any opportunities today, especially after yesterday's sort of surprise action, if you like. Coming up to the end of the year, 2 days left for whoever to do their orders, get their orders done. So we'll see if we've got any action. So good trading, guys. Shorter video this time. Back with another video in the new year.